Summary of Gang Leader for a Day by Sudhir Venkatesh. Gang Leader for a Day opens with a crack den on Chicago's South Side, described by sociology graduate student Sudhir Venkatesh. Sudhir says that he is not there to do drugs, but to watch how people buy, use, and sell them. Sudhir sets up his story as a series of observations about lower-class urban society, which is mostly made up of African Americans. He also talks about how and why he chose to study this particular group. At first, Sudhir was one of Bill Wilson's students at the University of Chicago. Wilson, a well-known psychologist, told Sudhir to go to the projects on the south side of Chicago and ask people how it feels to be black and poor. Sudhir does this, and one day he runs into a group of young guys led by JT who laugh at his question. Sudhir finds out that JT runs a part of a Chicago gang called the Black Kings, BKs. JT tells Sudhir that the only way he can learn about their lives is to go back and watch them live. The next day, Sudhir does this. He gives JT a beer and asks if he can follow JT around. The heart of the book is this friendship, in which Sudhir watches JT's life as the boss of a drug-dealing business, which includes hustles in prostitution and other small-time crimes. JT shows Sudhir to his mother, Ms. May, who often feeds Sudhir while he's in the Robert Taylor homes, the projects JT comes to manage as gang boss for that part of Chicago. Sudhir also meets people like Ms. Bailey through JT. Ms. Bailey is a semi-crooked elected official who helps herself and the people around her by pushing for better conditions in the projects. Other characters include C-Note, who is a hustler who gets money by fixing and cleaning cars, and T-Bone and Price, who are JT's lieutenants who help him run the drug business, which is the Black King's main source of income. Eventually, Sudhir takes over JT's job as gang leader for one day. He sees how JT manages the foot soldiers who sell drugs, the community organizers, like Pastor Wilkins, Officer Reggie, and Autry, who mediate between gangs, and other people like Johnny who run stores in the area and whose small businesses often pay financial tribute to the BKs. Sudhir knows how complicated it is for JT to run its business. In the same way, his advisors tell him to watch Ms. Bailey to get a different and more women-centered view of the projects. As local area coordinator, Ms. Bailey is in charge of making sure that families get what they need from the city's housing authority, such as repairs and tools for their apartments. But she also gives out food and clothes that she has shops in the area donate, usually for a fee. She also makes sure that women and their families are taken care of, especially when men who are cruel come by and ask for money or other favors. Sudhir sometimes doesn't understand how Ms. Bailey can accept cash and other gifts for the charitable work she does on a daily basis. But Ms. Bailey's assistant Katrina tries to get Sudhir to see her as a kind, well-meaning part of the Robert Taylor Society as a whole. By the end of the book, Sudhir has gathered a lot of information about the gang's gray market and black market economies. Most importantly, T-Bone gives Sudhir the gang's drug-dealing ledgers from years ago. Sudhir uses this information to back up his study on what the BKs do and how they work in the Robert Taylor homes. By the early 1990s, JT gets a promotion up the BK ladder, and Sudhir gets a PhD, a prestigious internship at Harvard, and then a teaching post at Columbia. But urban renewal in Chicago causes Robert Taylor to be torn down, and the crack business there starts to fail. This makes JT less important in the BKs. In the late 1990s, when Sudhir goes to see him, he learns that he has done well in school and has hustled to get the information he needed from his subjects. But JT no longer has the power that being a gang boss gave him because most of the money that kept the gang going has run out. However, JT and Sudhir stay close, if not friends, and the novel finishes with Sudhir thanking JT for providing details about working-class life on the South Side.
About the author. Sudhir Venkatesh was born in India and went to high school outside of San Diego, California. In Gang Leader for a Day, he talks about how his folks wanted him to work in the hard sciences, so he went to UC San Diego and majored in math. He then switched to sociology and got a fellowship in the doctoral program at the University of Chicago, which is known for its influential depictions of city life and its often quantitative focus, for example, on the demographic and economic statistics of the communities being studied. Professor William Wilson, a well-known figure in American sociology, told Venkatesh to start watching people in the poor, mostly African-American south side of the city. Gang Leader for a Day is a biography that goes with Venkatesh's dissertation on urban poverty and off-the-books economies. It is about his problems as a doctoral student, his early research, and his efforts to balance the demands of his research with other parts of his life. Venkatesh was a permanent professor and well-known economist at Columbia University until not long ago. He now works for the tech company Facebook Research, where he studies human-computer interaction.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.